Good morning, members. Welcome to Stranraer for this meeting of the Harbours Subcommittee. This meeting is being live streamed and recorded and will be made available for viewing through our council's website. Members may notice that when calling members to speak, I will refer to them formally and using their title, i.e. Councillor Smith, so that it is clear who are councillors and who by the process of elimination are officers. Remote participants, please follow the good practice guidance, which includes muting microphones and switching off your video when you're not addressing the meeting, writing speak in the Teams chat function when you want to contribute. If you're in the hall, you can do this on your iPhone or iPad. Please don't repeat contributions already made by other members. No material should be posted in the chat function if it's intended as part of the discussion. Usual standing orders apply, including that any votes will be undertaken by roll call. If any member has to leave the meeting, please either leave the Teams meeting for that period of time or write leave in the Teams chat function and then join when you rejoin the meeting so we can keep track of whether we're quorum. All members should speak clearly, taking their time and speaking directly into the microphone when making contributions. When referring to reports, please provide reference to the relevant page and paragraph for everyone to follow. Please focus contributions in areas where clarification is required or to propose an alternative to our recommendations. Item 1 is sediment and apologies. So Tracy, the clerk, can you provide the sediment and any apologies, please, this morning?
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, everyone. We've got 6 members present in total, 1 member present here in the chambers in Stranraer being the Chair, and we've got 5 members present on Microsoft Teams being Councillor Brodie, Councillor Hagman, Councillor Ingalls, Councillor Johnston and Councillor Stitt. Not present at the start of the meeting is Councillor Giusti. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Item 2, declarations of interest. Do any members have any declarations of interest or statement of connections they wish to make? Nope. Item 3. This is the minutes of the previous meeting from the 5th of June 2025. Are we happy to approve? I'll take silence as approval. Yep. Thank you. Item 4, Port Marine Safety Code Compliance, report by Interim Assistant Director of Transport and Infrastructure. This report provides a report on the Port Marine Safety Code and our compliance with it. We've got, so I suppose I'll open it up. I believe we've got William Heaps with us today to address any questions or queries. William, are you there with us?
Yes, I'm here. I'm very happy to take questions. Thank you, Chair.
Thanks, William. Do you have anything to add to the report just before we take any questions?
No, nothing new. As I mentioned in the report, I have been supporting council officers and trying to sort the Harbour Master issue, but as I say, happy to take questions.
Okay, thank you. So I'll open it up to members. Any comments or questions, such? I should say we've also got Stuart here with us to address any queries or questions as well. I'm not seeing. Oh, there we go. Councillor Hagman.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. Just in the absence of any other questions, I think it would be helpful to understand, are we looking at creative ways to try and attract a new regional harbour master? Obviously, we've gone through the sort of normal channels, but what are the next steps? And how can we maybe widely put out the advert for that further? Is there anything in train? Any other thoughts? I'm always one for how can we think creatively? Do we need to do a social media campaign? Can we get some videos out there? Maybe yourself as chair can be putting something out onto social media. Just what are the options that the team are looking at?
Stuart, just for the benefit of the public, do you just want to speak to the issue with the vacancy around the Harbour Master position?
Yes, thank you, Chair, and thank you, Councillor Hagman, for your question. I can update you that we have moved on in the process of recruitment to a regional harbour master. Closing date for applications was just at the tail end of November. We have had 2 applications and we will be processing and going through interview processes in the very near future, with hopefully, and we hopefully appointing to a new regional harbour master.
Councillor Hagman.
Yeah, I mean, let's hope that we have got someone suitably qualified and actually is a great fit that can take this forward, because it is a really good opportunity. If that process is not successful, will there be a backup, or will you at least inform the duty holders of ourselves that where we're at? So I think it would be useful maybe to take it as an action, as whatever outcome happens at that interview stage. Can we please get an update to all members?
Yes, thank you, Councillor Hagman. Yes, happy to update members of how the process is going once we have undertaken the interview process.
And can I just ask as well, so I don't know, Stuart or William, who's best to answer this one, but is the position of Regional Harbour Master, is it a statutory position? Is it something that we have to keep us safe and compliant at all? I see William's popped up. William.
Yes, Chair, if I can answer that. So the direct answer to your question, is it a statutory position? Yes, it is. Are you non-compliant by having it vacant for a while? No, as long as you've got suitable other processes in place, which I alluded to in my report. My concern is not so much that from a statutory point of view, but a practical point of view, to keep things running. That position is a key part in your team, your safety management system, and your processes. And the longer it's vacant, the more difficult it will be to recover. But as I said in the report, you need to have no compliance worries just at the moment, but keep up the good work to try and replace that role.
No, thank you for that. That's great, and it's reassuring to know that we're still compliant. So thank you for that. Members, any more questions or comments before we move on? Nope. Okay, so members have asked to note the recommendations. So we've received the contents of the report relating to the Port Marine Safety Code, continuing monitoring by the designated person as detailed in paragraphs 4.1 to 4.7 and Appendix 2. So thank you for that, William. And we've noted the ongoing challenges within the sector relating to the recruitment of a regional harbour master as detailed in paragraphs 4.8 to 4.9 and Appendix 2. So thank you for that. Moving on. Item 5. Harbour Matters financial position and current and proposed capital works report approved by the Interim Assistant Director of Transport and Infrastructure. This report provides an update on the capital and revenue budgets relating to the harbour service. So I suppose I'll open it up. It's good to know that there's a lot of progress going on at the works in Stranraer on the capital works. We'd also note that part of the pier is going to be hopefully done up through the Stranraer Marina redevelopment. So that should be coming in due course. Members, any questions or comments? Councillor Hagman.
Thanks again, Chair. Yeah, I think it's more of a question really in terms of governance and the timing of our meetings. I'm just really aware that in terms of our recommendations, they are just for noting. But the first one, 2.1, is that it's already been approved by Economy and Infrastructure Committee in September 25. So we're sort of getting a historical report, but surely these reports should come to ourselves first and then go for approval. I'm just not quite sure what the process is on that, and with reducing the number of, is this as a result of reducing the number of committees that we're having? Because I think just in future, in terms of good practice, surely we should be getting sight of these before they go for approval to the main service committee. Otherwise, what is our role here within the subcommittee? Thanks.
Who's best addressed to take that one on?
I'm actually probably Karen's best.
Karen, good morning.
Good morning, members. Thank you very much, Chair, through yourself. Thank you, Councillor Hagman, for your question there, and I think that's a really good and relevant point. Now, I think the way the committees have been scheduled this year is why the revenue budget for Harbours has already been presented to E&I committee as the appropriate service committee. I'm happy to take that offline and speak with governance colleagues just in terms of that, and particularly in relation to the scheduling of meetings for next year, to try and assure Harbour Subcommittee that you receive this information to scrutinise it in advance of going to Service Committee in the future, if that would be all right with yourself, Chair.
That would be really appreciated. Thank you, Karen. We could take that as an action just to get that information. That'd be great. Councillor Hagman, would you be content with that?
Yeah, no, that's fine. As I say, I'm just acutely aware that we have a specific responsibility as a Harbours subcommittee. And if we're not able to fulfil those duties because of timing, then that's not going to be great. But if there's other ways of looking at that, scheduling that, whether we have a business meeting, whether we have briefings, whether there's an opportunity, I think if all of those things can be explored, that would be really helpful. Thank you.
Yes, and certainly when we had our sort of private business meeting early this year, I found that really productive, just to have that conversation around well, just what's going on at our harbours and perhaps commercial issues as well. So yeah, Councillor Johnston, you've got your hand up. Morning.
Yeah, sure. It's actually just on the back of that, Councillor Hagman's made a very valid point there. And it's just, to make sure that the response is shared. I know we're taking it offline, but the response is shared with all the committee members, if we can make sure that happens. Thank you.
Karen?
Thank you, Chair. Through yourself. Yes, absolutely. Happy to share that response with all subcommittee members. No problem. Thank you.
That's great. Thank you. Okay. Any more comments or queries, members? Oh, Katie, you've got your hand up again.
Yeah, no, thank you. So it doesn't relate directly to the specifics in the report before us, because obviously this is the financial positions and proposed capital works, but it's just really to get some assurance from Karen. I'm aware that there's complaints regarding an issue at the Isle of Whithorn, and it's just really to get some assurance that there will be a resolution to that coming forward, because I have raised this previously. I'm aware that it's gone through formal complaints process, and because it's in the formal complaints process, it wouldn't necessarily be appropriate to go into the details today, but just to get some assurance that there will be further information relating to the complaint at the Isle of Whithorn.
Aaron?
Thank you, Chair. Through yourself, thank you, Councillor Hagman. Yeah, both Stuart and myself are working through what has ended up being quite a complex issue and complaint down at the Isle of Whithorn. So we're looking to resolve that through the Council's complaints service and unit. And again, we'll keep Harbours Subcommittee up to date with that. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I ask as well, just in terms of our capital programme for the next year for Harbours, because we don't have that regional harbour master position at the minute, is that going to impact proposals for capital development at the harbours next year?
Through yourself, Chair, thank you for the question. The current position should not impact on potential capital expenditure for next year on the harbours. We've got a good harbours team there looking after the harbours at the moment on our behalf, and we'll be talking to them in the very near future to pull together a capital programme for next financial year.
Good. Okay, that's great. Thank you. Okay. Members, moving on to the recommendations. Oh, Councillor Ingalls. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Just a quick question, Chair. On page 20, a table at the bottom of that page, it highlights Garliston inner wall repairs design. This seems to have been on the go for quite a while. Can we get an update as to what's happening there?
Thank you for your question, Councillor Ingles. Yes, essentially what's happening there is that this has been passed to our internal design team who have been looking at the wall and monitoring. Unfortunately, other priorities, for instance, the Kirkcudbright Bridge have actually taken over their time just recently. So there is still work progressing on it. However, it's not been as quick as we'd like to see, but we are still working on the design within the internal teams at the moment.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Chair. Thanks, Stuart. I think, yeah, as I say, it just seems to have been on the agenda or on the Capital Works programme for quite a while. And is there sort of timescales on it that we can get that pushed forward and completed, or is it sort of on the back burner at the moment? Or?
At the moment, no, it's not in the back burner. The team are actually working on bits of the work at the moment. It is very complex. The harbour wall at Garliston is particularly, it's quite a high wall, as we know, and so that the team are looking at designs and engineering issues with a view to pulling together a full comprehensive design this financial year that we can take to Harbours Sub for next year, and hopefully the capital programme for next year as well. What I will say is it's very complex scenario that we have at Garliston.
I don't know, Stuart, maybe be good to provide members with an email briefing just about that specific project and any estimated timescales. Councillor Ingles, would that be suitable for you?
Absolutely. That would be ideal. Thank you, Chair.
I can certainly be happy to do that.
Good stuff, thank you. Okay. So we've noted the Harbours revenue financial year to date outturn in relation to the 2025-26 budget approved by the Economy and Infrastructure Committee in September 25, as detailed in section 4, and the year to date expenditure in relation to the Harbours capital plan for the 2025-26 financial year. So we're noting both 1 and 2. Thank you, members. Item 6 is any other business. I've not been notified, so that concludes today. Thank you very much, and see you at the next meeting next year. Thank you.